Seem wrong not to say something about this, but I'm going to be very careful what I say because this is a historical moment that is outside of logic, it's outside of personal feelings, it's outside of ideology. Like this is what happens when you refuse essentially as a society, as a world to talk about something and then it starts happening right in front of your face. This is why it's complicated is a really, really bad strategy for talking about things that are really important in the world around us. Obviously, for me, it is free Palestine all day, every day. But that doesn't mean I need to be unkind about the fact that there are real people going through one of the most horrifying moments that they've dealt with. And not only right now, but going forward, we really have to be better at holding two difficult truths at once and not saying that it's like some sort of both sides. Because even though where I stand ideologically is very clear, I am against anyone suffering. And that not only should be okay to say, but that should be the fucking goal. It's easy for us to be real abstract about this, like and yes, from both sides. And like one side is clearly in the right because apartheid states should not exist, but that doesn't make it easy. We all got plopped into a game that was in play, and we're all playing the pieces that we were dealt, and we need to have some kind of grace or space for that. Unfortunately, instead of learning how to argue well, how to fight well, how to have debates and discussions that were contentious without just immediately becoming like hateful and dismissive is something that a lot of us have not had practice at. And learning how to disagree without being inherently disagreeable is a skill we need to all have on a 10 right now. You're about to see what people really, really think. Like, you're going to see it in a way that you've probably been avoiding seeing. And like I said about COVID and connecting in values a while back, like a lot of your friendships have splintered because of these really, in the end, critical and absolutely insoluble differences of values. And that's about to happen again. And it doesn't need to happen in every case because sometimes it's going to be a question of if you can deal with each other as humans and deal with each other in a way that is, in the end, for the goal, which is better conditions for everybody. We can be unequivocal without being like flag waving. We can be staunch, we can be strident in our beliefs without having to act a certain way about it. Because the reality is sometimes you're going to have compassion for people who are going to be your enemies and that you are going to have to fight in some way, sometimes even literally. But if you do not maintain their baseline humanity, there is something lost there. I don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to shake out, but I do know that we're going to need each other and we're going to need to be operating as best as we can. I'll say this, even if you do literally have people who live in the area, like I think that you may be missing that colonized people have a real deep feeling about this, and it's as deep as the feelings that you have for having people who are there. It is not more abstract for us. It is just as real. And I'll be honest, sometimes the question really is going to come down to whether or not you believe in an ethno-state. That's really the question we're talking about here. And if deep down you do, then that's going to be a problem for a lot of relationships. May we all have as much kindness and grace as we can muster.